Hi, everybody. I'm Diana Palm, and I am the medium helping you to heal the grief from heartbreak and loss. Today, I have a very special guest on with me. She's a very, very dear friend of mine. Her name is Tracy McGuire Lothian, and I'm going to be asking her some questions about her experiences, her personal experiences with loss, the afterlife, and how this has shaped her life or inspired her life path. So, welcome, please welcome Tracy. Hi, Tracy.
Hey Diana, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yes, thank you for being here. Can you tell everybody where you're calling in from?
Hello everybody. I'm Tracy, and I'm in the northwest of England, in a little place. Well, Morecambe, a lovely place.
So, Tracy, we'll just jump right in. How about that? Would you like to
Fantastic.
start with talking about, someone significant that you lost and how that impacted you?
Absolutely, yes, thank you. Well, there's two. There's two. It was about 12 years ago, and my daughter's father, yeah, he had a past. And the alcohol. He died through the alcohol. It wasn't nice whatsoever. Billy, and he was my true love. We'd been together since we were about 13, and he'd gone to live on the streets. He was homeless. It just, I think, like society had let him down, and he had a lot of had happened to him as well. His mum had got murdered, and it was a really tragic case. So it was just such a beautiful, beautiful lost soul. So that was my daughter's father. And then 4 months after his death, my youngest son's, my other son's father, he committed suicide. So it just, yeah, absolutely just thrilled me into to grief like I've never known before.
Oh, I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine. Wow. So how did you deal with those losses? That was so close together too.
Yeah, so I did actually like start drinking. I was drinking heavily, but I just wanted to connect in. I wanted to know why, Stephen had suicide, and I wanted to know Billy was okay. So one evening I was just sat there, and I was just so deep in grief, and I just had a pen and paper. And I'm just saying, come through to me, Billy, come through to me, Billy. And I didn't have any of the knowledge, what I've learned off you now. So I didn't really know what I was doing. It wasn't safe to do it, but something came through. And I was like, it's Billy, it's Billy. So I carried on doing this, and getting signs, and it was getting stronger and stronger. And then within the house, there was people getting depressed. Myself, that my alcoholism, it was getting very, I was just drinking the whole time. And then, and yeah, just like really bad things started happening. It was a house, it was on called Heathfoot Avenue up at Heysham. And the things that started happening was just absolutely unbelievable. My youngest son, he woke up screaming one night that there was snoring in his room. We had actual, and there's so many witnesses to this, so many.
Like
We had
snoring
footprints run up a wall,
while your son was sleeping,
sleeping.
hearing snoring.
Yes, and it woke him up, and it carried on the noise. And that one incident, I'd come out of my bedroom, and because it was the most piercing scream that I and anybody else in the house had ever heard. And
Wow.
I ran in, and as soon as I went to his room, just this black figure came in front of me and went into the hallway. And I just demanded, you to stay away from my son. You have no right to be by my son. Go away from my son. And then things started getting worse and worse. You just couldn't make it up. Things that was going in the house, we were all getting much more depressed. Like I say, this other incident, there was footprints actually up my landing stairs that went up into an attic, which then all night long, there was just this running feet up and down in my attic all night long. So, of course, with no sleep and the heaviness of the energy in the house and everything, it was just getting worse and worse. What else happened? There was the footprints. There's just things like I was going into my bedroom once to find some papers, some insurance papers. I was trying to get things sorted out, and I hadn't realised, but 3 weeks had gone by. So there was something just like something was over. It was taking control of me, definitely. And I still had no knowledge of all this. So I'd gone to a lady who was into the paranormal and an amazing medium. She's called Maddie Mitch. Moved over to the Isle of Man now. And she said to me straight away, she said, we're going to come out to you this evening. And this had been going on now for about 6 months. It was progressing and getting worse and worse. She said, we're going to come out to you this evening. Do not worry about a thing. You will be in protection. Because at that time, I didn't even know about protection, proper protection.
Yeah, most people don't.
No.
Most people that just have a desire to connect with their loved one in the afterlife don't really know that they should protect, or that they should clear their energy, or not try to connect if they're drunk or high, that's kind of a right. And so people are they're grieving and they're sad and they reach out, and sometimes things like this happen.
Absolutely. And any sign you're just waiting for, any sign, any communication.
Yes.
And it was the wrong. So she was going to put like a triangle of candles, and was going to exercise the house, clear the house, cross over and heal. But it didn't get to that because I was in the house on my own, and I was trying to get things together because I knew it was coming to an end. We needed to leave that house. And just as I thought, I was just about to leave, and I was just on the toilet, and all the windows went steamed up, all the in the bedrooms, in the bathroom. But the one in the bedroom that was straight and forward of me, that all the steam had come on the window, something started to write. And the heaviness of the energy, I knew I needed to leave there and then. And we never went back to the house.
Wow.
Yes. It was unbelievable. And there was just so many people that had witnessed it and gone through it. I'd seen so much as well. My children's friends, they'd all seen things, and even when going past my house, they would see a man's figure at my son's bedroom window. It was like something every single day. And even after that, it had something had followed us because I've been getting so many things.
That's what I was going to ask. Stayed there, or if something came with you.
Absolutely. I think something had stayed there. I do believe that we'd opened a portal or something, because this was such dark, heavy energy. And then I think it followed us to our new house, and I took these mirrors and everything else. And I thought, no, I don't want them in my house. I feel we don't have anything. So we started to get rid of everything. But then one evening I was just switching my son's telly off, and I had to lean right over because his plugs were down the other side of the bed. And I leaned right over, and something pushed me off, and it broke 3 bones in my foot.
Wow.
Yeah, oh yes. And so I had to be keep it up for 3 months. My foot, so I was just sleeping and staying on the couch and just getting around doing as I could, and that's when I started with sleep paralysis. Yes, and it was so scary because I wasn't in control, and I was seeing black figures coming in front of me. I couldn't wake up. You can't tell anybody at the time, and you're just screaming within, and it seemed to just get worse and get worse. My illnesses got worse and worse. Started to lose the use of my hands and feet. Then that's when all that started. I was so deep into depression. I was just drinking just to escape from it.
Yeah.
And then we ended up moving again. We moved again. And then there was something else in this other house, it was a top floor flat, but I felt this hadn't come with us. This was totally a different energy. So I was sort of okay with it. There wasn't anything malicious going on. There wasn't anything moving. So I started to sort of build myself back, but my health was getting dramatically worse. When I was living at Crookley, I'd lost the use of my hands and legs. There was when all the muscles had come up. I think it was fibromyalgia, diagnosis. But I was just so deep into depression. And then just something happened, and I just literally found the book The Secret.
Hmm.
I watched the film and I just carried on watching the film. And then I heard of this retreat in Ireland. So by this point, I'd not really been out the house or socialised or done anything within 12 years.
Wow. My
Oh,
God,
yeah.
that is a really long time to be in a heavy state of grief and at the same time be under spiritual attack.
It was unbelievable. It was unbelievable. I didn't ever feel I could lift up from it, but I did feel the angels with me. I've always felt my lovely connection with the angels. So I
Mhm.
said to the angels, please be with me. I know that I need to go to this retreat in Ireland. And then I did, and my whole life turned around. I met some of the most wonderful, amazing, gifted people.
Mhm.
Susie Kinsella being one, who then my connection opened up to you. And
Yep.
the rest has just been resolved and healed. And
Tracy, can you tell everybody what you do for a living?
yes, yes, yes. So I am a medium. I absolutely love working in the paranormal. I'm an intuitive energy worker. So I do not have a lot of modalities under my belt, but as we know, everyone is wonderfully unique. So whatever that person needs, that is what we do. But it always comes back to the mediumship. My
Yeah.
connection with spirit is just absolutely phenomenal and just growing all the time.
Yeah. So
Yes.
Tracy, do you feel like the depression, the spiritual attacks, do you feel like that was brought on after Billy died? After you were longing to connect with him and writing? Do you feel like something there happened?
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yes. Even people that was coming to visit to see if I was okay, even some of them were feeling the energy of the house had just completely changed. And I
Mhm.
was just getting so obsessed with wanting to get through and connect. And
Yeah.
I just, that is the only thing I was really focusing on. And as I was, this energy was, the darker energy was just getting stronger and stronger. And I was just getting weaker and weaker.
What kind of steps did you do, or how did you finally resolve like that darkness after the retreat? And, did you take classes, or what did you do to learn how to keep your space clear and how to shift this energy that was impacting your health and
Yes.
everything?
Yeah, well, with my connection, I just thought it was, I still had was the connection with spirit. That was just everything to me. So I was still trying to work with spirit, even though I didn't know at the time to actually like to ask the guides, to get my
Mhm.
guide in for protection, to clear my space. So it was actually your book, Setting Spirits Free. That was
I didn't know that, Tracy.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I've made a
Oh,
few videos of that. Was the book that actually completely
oh,
changed my life because it all made so much sense. I was even getting woke up through the night with spirit giving me messages, and just the strangest of things happening, just ended up in the strangest situations.
yeah.
But and then I learned with yourself, just let spirit know, I'm available from these hours to this hours, I'm so honoured and love to work with you within the light,
Yes.
and calling in the angels and setting your space, and it's so just literally, it was your teachings have actually changed everything.
Wow. Thank you for letting me know that. That's
No,
amazing.
no, thank you.
How do you feel now, like in working with spirit? And what happens now? Like, if let's say you're working with a client that is having a spiritual attack, do you know how to take care of that?
Absolutely, straight away, so I know how to sense.
I love that. Right away.
Oh, absolutely. Even if it's generational, we've just upped it all, haven't we? Now with them, I took you with the course, the generation ghost generational, is it? Yes. So that's just completely changed it again. So I can see if it's generational, or if it's on a soul level, or if it's someone that they've picked up along the way. If it's a build up of arguments and being in a toxic situation, can tell the difference
Amazing.
now. Oh,
Well, I mean,
I'm loving
so
it.
like it's all such a blessing because even though it began, as it seemingly like a curse, it was suffering and depression and loss and grief and spiritual attack and things happening and that making you um like not be able to be grounded or rooted in a home. You had to move and creating all this turmoil in your life. And now you're like just this beautiful master. You've mastered your spiritual gifts. You're out there healing other people. And what a journey. It's an incredible journey you've been on.
What a journey. Absolutely. So for like the last few years, it's carried on with the journey. I've done classes at the Arthur Findlay College. I've got
Yeah.
more coming up in October. Been working on the mental mediumship.
Yeah.
I've started working on the physical again with
Right.
your teaching, so doing it also safe and effectively. And I couldn't bring anything through the other day, and I thought, a feather, a coin, come on. I was like, what am I doing wrong, guys? What am I showing me the truth? What am I doing wrong? And then I went to see my daughter, and there was nothing on the floor when we sat down at the table to start speaking. All of a sudden, I looked down, and there was a penny, heads up.
Oh,
So I looked at it, and it was her date of birth on it, 1995. So I just felt Billy. I felt Billy.
oh,
So yeah, it's just to feel that love, and just to be able to give people the validation that there's so much more. We're
yes.
not just born and dying. That's it. It has been such a gift.
Yeah. So does you feel him when you feel Billy when he comes around now?
Yes, I can tell the different energies now. Yes.
And his energy is not like it troubled like it was when he was alive.
No, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. He's got a beautiful young energy now. Really, really
Oh,
young.
good.
Yes. Oh, and when I was living in the flat, when I was going to the third move, there was an American lady, and I've really tried to find this lady. I cannot find her again on Facebook, because what an amazing lady. She just reached out to me one day, and she said, I know this is going to seem strange, but you've got a loved one around you who hasn't crossed over. And it was Stephen. So I didn't know this lady. We just did this phone call, and I'd never gone on to anything technical, talked to anybody over the internet. And I sat down, and she says, okay, you should just breathe. And we did a prayer, and she said, just breathe. She said, we're going to cross him over now. And as soon as she did, it was just like this whole light came into my room. I felt instantly lighter. I noticed a difference with the children. So he hadn't, because when he took his life, he was still very, very confused. He took drugs and drink. So, he was not in a right state of mind, and he was very confused. I knew I had no knowledge of all that until, and so now to be able to help others do that.
Yeah, and what amazing, because many people don't realize that, if somebody, it's not just suicide, but even if somebody dies and they're really depressed and they're just in dark energy, the easiest way I like to explain it is this, because everyone is like, oh, they all assume that they're in heaven and they're in a better place. And it's like, no, not necessarily. Actually, a lot of suicides and a lot of people that die in depression or really intoxicated or on drugs, they're so confused on the other side. And many of them are afraid of judgment, so they don't go to the light. But the light is not judgment. I mean, God literally is not there judging, right? I know you know this, but our viewers may not know this.
Absolutely.
But we judge ourselves. And so there is no judgment on the other side. We do elevate, we heal, we learn, and we grow, and we kind of start purifying our soul. We clear all the things that we did not clear or heal while we were living, but there is no judgment. But I like to tell people this, vibrationally, if you think about how somebody was feeling at the time of their passing, if they were okay with their death, if they were, looking forward to seeing loved ones on the other side, if they had lived a good life, if they were at peace with their situation, they go right into the light. But when people are really hanging on to life, like, I'm not going to die, I'm not going to die, and they're filled with fear, or they're angry, or filled with resentment, or any of those kind of things, those are very low vibrations, and those just really don't resonate into the light easily. Somebody could still shift and change their mind. They've got a few days, after they die, where they could elevate and decide to let go of those earthly dramas and move into the light, and then they're free and clear in the spirit world. But many of those people that die in that case, in those lower emotions, where they're real troubled, they don't go into the light, and they do need to be crossed over. So what a blessing, number one, that woman reached out to you and helped him and helped you and your family because you were being impacted by his unhealed energy.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. So
But
I've gone through it firsthand. So you know, when others, I'm able to pick up on that and feel that and everything.
yes, that's what makes
It
you good at what you do, having gone through it firsthand.
absolutely, absolutely. I didn't
Yeah,
think
which
at
is
the
the
time,
second
but
blessing.
yes,
The second blessing in all of that is that having had this experience and kind of going through that darkness and coming out into the light and then getting really educated, you have the experience and the education and your beautiful heart and your desire to be of help and of service. And so you do this work for other people that are going through what you went through.
absolutely, absolutely. You know, I do. I just feel so honoured. I really do. And I've got like my own group now of beautiful, beautiful people that's coming together, and I'm helping them develop their gifts because they've all got such unique gifts. I've got my first paranormal night coming up this Halloween.
Oh, that's
It's
wonderful.
all coming, and I always like to tell them something you've quoted, and I always go, Diana said, "If you're in fear, be of service."
Yes. That's awesome. You know, Tracy, so you have your own paranormal group.
It's coming together.
Yeah,
It's coming
good, good.
together.
That's
Absolutely.
wonderful. Oh
And
my
it
God.
is just working with spirit, just getting to know the guides and just doing
Yes,
everything right and just implementing and just bringing it into your daily life and
yes.
just trusting the divine guidance that's coming through and trusting your own higher self. And
Yeah.
it's like a full-time thing, isn't it?
It's a way of life.
It absolutely is.
Yeah, you don't like turn it on one day and go to the office and then turn it off.
There's no, you just cannot.
It's funny because my daughter, of course, you know Lonnie, and so
Love,
she
love
has
me.
all the same gifts that I do. She's been my little healer sidekick since she was 3. Since basically she could walk and talk, you know, and she displayed all these abilities. And then I educated her and put her in classes, and so she's always helped me. But it's really funny because she and I are always laughing about when we have partners in our lives, and our partners are always like, yeah, things used to like be locked down, but ever since I'm with you, things are really, you know, weird things are happening. There's like vivid dreams. There's like all this spiritual energy around the home, you know, and it's like
Oh yes.
unusual for people that don't live that way. And that, I mean, a real medium actually just lives that way. Spirits are drawn to you. There's things that happen. There's always going to be more and more spiritual knowledge, because that's like our theme. That's why we're here, you know?
Yes.
So it's not, again, it's not like 9 to 5, I'm on duty. It's like we live in that. We set
Yes.
hours for our business, but we're doing the work all the time.
All the time. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
everybody's done well. They've all done really well. I've seen just such a difference with my family and everything.
Ah,
All on the healing and
wonderful.
just totally different energy. Just absolutely totally.
I can tell in talking with you. I don't remember how many years ago. I was still in Minnesota, so it was quite a few years ago when you were taking my course online.
But yes,
And at that time, you were like, we were getting into some of your deeper healing. And even from then until now, Tracy, wow. Like it's beautiful to see you like so vibrant and like empowered and yeah,
thank you.
moving forward.
I could not have done anything with any of it without you. I've done the mediumship, master your mediumship with yourself, your
Yeah.
books, the energy of them, the words alone in them, the teachings, theta, did all the theta healing with yourself. And as you know, I'd gone through years of really not even speaking a word. And so it's been absolutely, what a journey. And not,
Yes,
it's
that's
just been
incredible.
amazing. You hold such a beautiful space for just so many. Nothing wavers you. Nothing.
No. Well, maybe you were just holding back on your words until you're going to come out with your angel voice and, you know, start spreading that.
Absolutely.
Wow, that's incredible,
Absolutely.
Tracy.
Oh,
Um, so can you tell our audience, like, what kind of signs? You just shared a couple that Billy, you know, when he's around. Does he also send you signs and symbols like numbers or
Oh,
any kind of thing?
the
Yeah.
music, the songs. I can hear them repeatedly all every day. There's every single day that the music's just the sort of the knowing, the finding the feathers, the coins, the numbers. I did with the cloud formations when you just sat, and it's just and like going into charity shops. I go into charity shops for books, and I always say, okay, and I ask Spirit first, is this the shop? Shall I go in here? And I'm getting a yes. So I always go in, and the books I find, there's always a Louise Hay one. There's just some really old ones of in spiritualism. There's all sorts. I have found all sorts. So it's just helped develop my life in so many in every single way.
So here's a question for you would you say that Billy has been just as impactful to you after his death as he was when he was alive?
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
If not more so.
Yes.
If not more so, absolutely. Because he's not carrying everything that he was when he was on this plane. He's just such a beautiful, light, friendly, energy that just wants everybody to unite and love. It always comes on Black Eyed Peas, Where Is the Love? Still. He just loved it. And that was him. It was.
You know what? It's like a lot of people don't realize like the type of shift that occurs for a soul once they go into the light. I tell people all the time, they're not just like sitting up in heaven on a cloud and waiting for you to die. I mean, they are literally here. They're just a couple vibrations away. They want to help you. They want to assist you. They want you to know that they're with you. Many people are afraid to connect because they're like, oh no, because we were fighting, or nah, because they're thinking of them on earthly terms.
Yes.
But once they go to the light, they're like your biggest advocate. They're able to help you in ways that they were not able to help you in the physical world, because they were filled with their own drama, and time restraints and all kinds of stuff. But once your loved one is in the afterlife, I have, that about me too. I have a special friend on the other side that ever since he's passed, he literally became one of my guardians, one of my spirit guides that has taught me so much about the afterlife. And he is so good at coming through. And he was just really dedicated to that cause. And so we've shared like this incredible relationship journey, this friendship, and it's so endearing. Since his passing, we've even become closer and closer. And so there's such joy with that. It sounds like you have that with Billy.
Absolutely. And like a major one was with Stephen. It's been unbelievable. So when it's like my youngest son was 7 when he took his life. So he's 18 now. So he's been through a lot. And like when we've really needed like support and help, I've just asked Stephen, and just instantly everything seems to have just quieted, and just like we're given that space, and they do. I know he wants to help so much, and he has. He's become like our biggest advocate as well. It's just beautiful. It's just so healing.
Yes. That's amazing. And so I guess I really want to encourage those of our viewers, that maybe have a little hesitancy to connect or to ask their loved ones to be a part of their life. Your journey continues. It's eternal. If somebody has a contract to be in your life in this physical existence, you can bet that it's in the afterlife, in the next life, in the afterlife, in the next life. It's just eternal. We continue to evolve each other and grow together, and they don't leave your side. So the whole feeling of abandonment and loss after death, a lot of times we feel that cellularly, and we think there's a separation. And that's why I, like in my #1 spiritual grief healing program called Reconnect, I help people recognize the signs and symbols. I also use my mediumship to help them connect, but then I want to give it to them so they can move forward knowing truly they're connected and in a healthy, positive way, that they can continue living with their loved one that's in the afterlife.
Yes.
Because that kind of guidance is remarkable to have in your life. Um, I think the one thing I want to address though is what you shared in the beginning, Tracy. So when you first encountered the dark stuff, do you think part of that was because of the state, uh, partially because you were drinking, you were depressed, but also Billy was, right? He's
Yes.
really struggling and using.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I do, I just think I just opened up to literally anybody to come through, like when we do, the Ouija boards or
Yep.
anything, and we set the intention of who to connect in with.
Yes.
Well, I haven't done any of that. I just, anyone.
Yes, yeah, exactly. And so that's another thing. It's like most people, because I talk about the Ouija boards and I have videos on that on my YouTube channel. You just use it like it's a sacred telephone, set your stage, set your intention, make sure you're not open to just anybody. I mean, I always joke about this, but you're not going to go online dating and just tell everybody to come to your house, and hey, yeah, it doesn't matter who you are. I'm not going to validate that. Come on over. No.
No.
And so you will not do that in the spirit
No.
world either.
No. It's such a beautiful thing. It is, you learn to bless and to open and to prepare the
Yes.
space and ourselves and everything. And so it's just such a beautiful thing. And like you say, it is just another tool, and it is all intentions.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
It's safe. It's heartfelt. You're actually, when you're able to connect with a loved one like that, when you set the stage and you're kind of moving into that sacred energy, that you just know, like my soul longs to connect, and you want to create that space that makes it special. You don't want the riffraff. You don't want the ghosts down the street to come in. That's not anything that you're attracting. So it's very intentional and it's very sacred and heartfelt. And when you hold that intention, when you hold that energy, you will safely be able to connect with your loved ones. They'll be able to easily come through for you. And it's just amazing. And they can still stay part of your daily life. You can talk to them, they can help you out. There's so many things they can help you out with. And I just having those constant reminders too, I'll be going through something in my personal life, and that's the first person that gives me the signs and symbols. I'll look up and I'll be like, oh, there it is, and there's my sign, and it's like
Yes.
instantly it's like, okay, I'm not alone. I got this,
Yes.
and it's like I get my marching orders. Don't lay down and give up. Fine, you've got support. So
Yes.
it's amazing.
Oh, it really, really is. It is life changing. It really, really is. And to be able to help so many more, like in 2020, when I think I was doing your Mastering Your Mediumship course in 2020. And I was setting the space and everything, and I had the most beautiful people coming through. But then I was having to contact the other people on Facebook and going, excuse me, you don't know me, but can I ask you, did you eat fish and chips last night? Do seagulls mean anything to you? And they go, yes, yes, yes. I think I've got your mum here. And it was just so beautiful because there were so many dying in hospital on their own. And just to be able to let the family know that they weren't actually alone. Her sister was with her.
Yeah.
It was beautiful. It was really, really
Thank
beautiful.
you for bringing that up too. That's so important because so many people are still suffering in the aftermath of all the loss. And
Absolutely.
so many people died during that time frame in isolation. My father was one. He died in the hospital after being isolated for 6 weeks. So out of 8 children, well, one is already on the other side. So 7 living children. None of us were able to be there with him. So that's a burden for the family to carry. Of course, like for me, it's different. Immediately when he crossed over, he came, and we've been in communication ever since. So I know he's fine. But for those people that don't have mediumship abilities or they don't know how to connect, they're just still lost in that unhealed energy of the energy of the passing. And that is an energy that, like your work, helps people heal that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Just so much evidence. And then
Yes.
always that beautiful message of love. Yeah, you know, I do. I feel very, very, very honoured, and just for every single day, more of the Claires, everything's growing. Like you say,
Yeah.
it's just only this is one part of the journey.
Yes.
Getting there with my words when everything will come now.
Now's the time for talking.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, Tracy, where can people find you?
So I am on Facebook, Tracy McGuire Lothian. Very, very welcome just to connect and just reach out at any time. I do have a Facebook page called Angels Consciousness, just share uplifting things, messages of hope and love, daily messages channeled from the angels. From
I love your messages.
Oh, there again, that was with my soul connections over in Ireland, my soul family. Lorraine Doyle and Vivian Carden, absolutely amazing, very, very, very gifted, just beautiful people, beautiful lights. And I'm also on Instagram, WhatsApp, if anybody's got that, or the TikTok, if anybody's got that. So yeah, absolutely, just always welcome, always all welcomed, absolutely.
And what was the and your email? Do you let clients email you with questions or?
Absolutely, yes, absolutely, yes. So I'll put that in the link below if that's okay. That's affirmationsangel@gmail.com.
Yes, we'll put all your links below the video so that people will know how to find you on all the social channels. They'll have your email. Now, what if somebody wants to work with you, Tracy? Are you doing classes, sessions? What all do you offer?
So you're just sort of starting out with the business side of it. I've just been just loving just being of service and just helping, and spirit provides anyway. But no, absolutely offer one-on-ones. I have got some programs that are coming up. For anyone that is local in Lancashire or Cumbria in England, I do have my group every first Thursday and last Thursday of the month. There is the paranormal group coming, so the paranormal nights. We've got some venues lined up for that, which we've just had. I just absolutely love bringing through the.
I know. Well, you're going to need to have a website.
Yes.
You're going to need to have a website, Tracy, and probably a YouTube channel.
Yes, thank you. Brilliant. Yes.
We'll get you all business up, you know. I know you do such beautiful work. So people, if they wanted to have a private session with you, they could find you on social, reach out to you, and then you can just let them know how to pay you.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes,
Perfect.
absolutely.
Perfect.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. I think that you have a lot of stuff coming up. I want to just check and see. Yeah, I think that's it. Oh my goodness. Is there anything else that you would like to share with that, or some words of advice to people going through grief and loss right now?
Oh, absolutely. Just to know they are never, ever alone. Don't ever feel isolated. Don't ever feel alone. There's just so many of us out there that have so much understanding and just want to be of service and just to help them. And there isn't anything that isn't possible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, just absolutely reach out. Please, please do reach out.
Yeah. You know, I've worked with people before that they'll come to me for healing, and I'll find out that they've literally been grieving for 25 years. And I'm like, oh my goodness. So we are not even dealing with the energy in their daily life right now. We have to go back to 25 years ago and deal with the healing at that point in time when they first, got onto that cycle.
Yes.
And then it's like they reclaim their energy and their time back. But it's like, oh my goodness, people stay in that state. And so being able to reconnect, getting a beautiful message, knowing that their loved one still exists, allows them to address their grief and process it out so that they can move forward.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And there's just nothing that brings my heart more joy is like yourself, is seeing people go forward, just to heal and resolvement, and just to go forward and live and just be happier than ever.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Well, I adore you. I'm so proud of you.
I couldn't have done it without you, Diane. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh God, Tracy, I wish you so much success, and what a beautiful journey, and an amazing testimonial from where you started to where you are now and how you're using that to help people.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much. I'm going to put all of Tracy's links below this video. Make sure you reach out to her. If you're in, where do you live again?
So it's Lancashire in England.
Okay. So if you're in the area, make sure you reach out to her. If you're interested, she's doing work in the paranormal. If you're having issues with that, reach out to her. If you've lost a loved one, reach out to her. And I would anticipate a lot more visibility from this beautiful lady. But in the meantime, you can catch her on all her social media platforms and her email, which will be below the video. Okay.
Thank you. Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Tracy. Thank you so much.
Oh, it's been amazing. I just can't. I'm just so filled with thanks. Thank you.
All right, you guys, we will see you next week when we will reconnect live with you in Facebook and on YouTube. Thanks so much. Have a great day.